The NBA and Adam Silver have said that they are trying to figure out a way to deal with the tanking. And from what I have seen, they are moving towards a possible solution. They're trying to enforce anti tanking rules next season. Ideally, some of the ideas that have come out with first round picks can be protected from top four or top 14 plus. Lottery odds freeze after the deadline. They don't allow teams to pick in the top four in consecutive years. Teams can't pick in the top four after making the conference finals. I've heard them flattening out all the lottery odds, which has already made tanking worse. I think that honestly, all of these proposed solutions won't help the NBA in any way. Like, I think the worst proposal they had here was flattening odds for all lottery teams. I don't like that at all because as we've seen with the flattened odds, it's getting more teams to tank. Like, we've seen teams playing worse now that the odds are flattened compared to what it was before. I've mentioned it so many times on the show already. The Jazz with Jaren Jackson Jr. and the whole thing of benching their four players, their stars in the fourth quarter. Jaren Jackson Jr. is now out for the season. Things like that have been blatant tanking. I think that if you flatten the odds out for all the teams, that's going to get worse. So we just got that proposed solution's got to go out the door. That's not happening anytime this season. And then flattening out the odds at the deadline or a later date, that can't work either because then I think that decreases interest at the start of the season. You have teams coming out the gate trying to tank. And that's when the NBA is good. That's when the NBA, when people watch the league, it's not March basketball where no one cares anymore. It's, oh, start of the season, NBA's here. Let's enjoy the game. You have NBA Christmas, and you have all the games. That kills the entire first half of the season. You can't do that. It also kind of, in my opinion, that'll kill the trade deadline. Like, teams are tanking, so they won't really be concerned about trying to get off players or anything like that. So that solution also isn't great. The one solution here that I or the two solutions here that I'm not exactly opposed to would be not allowing the team to pick in the top four in consecutive years. That is not a bad proposal. That way it forces teams to, even if they tank, they don't get the reward. So there is that. And then there's also, it allows other bad teams to cycle in and be able to get better players, which is what ultimately the idea of the draft is for. So that, as a possible solution, is very high up there. And I like that overall. And then also, teams can't pick in the top four after making the conference finals. I also like that again because it limits how good these top teams can get. Like the Thunder last year made the conference finals. They couldn't be able to draft another pick with their million picks that Scam Presti has accounted for. Yes, Scam Presti, not Sam Presti. But I think those two would be ideal to implement, but then again, the NBA is trying to implement these next season, so I'm not a huge fan of them trying to rush the process and immediately react to it like they did with the load management and implementing the 65 game rule, which has failed horribly, has received backlash from everybody, from players to media to fans and everything in between. So even though some of the ideas are good, I don't think it's smart to rush the process and just dive straight into things off the bat, because then that has the potential to make things worse rather than better overall.